Chris, can you fill us in on what's happened today?
Yeah, this is Thursday the 23rd of February, and it's been a bit of a strange event. I've went into court as Norman's Mackenzie friend today, and unfortunately Norman hadn't turned up, so the judge asked whether I could make inquiries as to his whereabouts, which I did. Unfortunately, Norman did state that he is fleeing the country and he's claiming political asylum in Austria, where Hitler comes from, which I relayed that to the judge, and he really didn't pass any comment on that, other than there wasn't any particular valid excuse for him not being there. The second thing that happened then was that a warrant without bail was issued, which means that should the police find Norman, what will happen is he will be arrested and held in confinement until his trial, which unfortunately this looks like a high likelihood that that's going to happen. I also asked the judge whether he had received Norman's Statutory Declaration. He replied by saying that he did actually receive something that looked like an affidavit but not a statutory declaration. But that is an acknowledgement of service, and I say that now on this public record that we are on YouTube, so that in the event of his incarceration, which looks all the more likely today, that will actually be unlawful, because Norman has actually served the judge with his rights as he sees them, and not only as he sees it but as written in law, and not only law, in UK legislation, which consists of not only the law but also statutes as well. So I can only say that if Norman is arrested today, it would be an unlawful arrest and an unlawful incarceration, and we would actually be looking at a repeat of last year's events of running habeas corpus applications again, and that's where we're at.
Don't stand behind me, look like I've got friends.
Right, Keith, what did you make of today's events?
I think today's events were a victory for Norman. He done well. He's played them at their own game.
I'm not taking.
The Magistrates Courts was a sham, but they always are. You know, from security when you get here, taking all your stuff, taking your mobile phones, etc., etc. Police everywhere. Outside, inside, here, down, everywhere. You know, it was a bit of a joke. I managed to sit with Chris Jarvis as a Mackenzie friend and witness it firsthand.
So where do you think this will lead for Norman?
Well, Norman, I'll do it as a kind of briefing anyway, but Norman is claiming asylum in Hitler's homeland. That's the headline he wants. I believe email's gone out already. I don't know if anyone's already got any communication, but he is, as we speak, seeking asylum in Hitler's homeland, bearing in mind that he served on HMS Malicious as part of the Arctic Convoys, you know, and in his own words, he fought the Nazis 67 years ago and he's still fighting them today. It's probably more like 68 or 69 now, that quote's an old one. But yeah, fair play to Norman, and good luck to you. I'll see you over there.
As an 86-year-old man taking on the establishment, we ought to hang our heads in shame, really, that we can't match them.
We should. We all should. The security guards who show the contempt for him that they do at Leeds Magistrates should. The police who frog marched him out. Tactical aid who physically moved me because I was trying to block them do it in Leeds Magistrates Court. Every single one of them should hang their heads in shame. The judges who stand there, sit there, you know, thinking they're holier than thou, who again, we all owe, you know, we've all heard the propaganda they come out with. Forget what your theories on the wars were and why they were and who makes money out of them, because we all know of an alternative view, mind, that, you know, it's all bollocks anyway. The fact of the matter is, people laid their lives down for us so that I can speak to you now and say this, and that's the crux of the matter, and that's what a lot of people need to remember before it's all gone. You know, as David Icke says, I know people love David Icke, but, you know, what are you going to be able to look your kids or grandkids in the eye and say, you know, when they say, what were you doing when this fascist state came in? Because I can.
Up in Norman.
Do you know what I mean? Can you? That's the question.